Okay, everybody, thanks very much for being here and wanting to join with me in learning how to avoid the 3 biggest social media mistakes. When Lynn asked me to speak on this topic, I randomly I said, yes, I can come up with 3. I came up with 11 or 12 and winnowed them down to 3, although I cheated a little bit on one of them, as you'll very shortly see. Social media has an enormous amount of power that other forms of media do not have. And that's because of what people call its viral nature. And that means that everything that you do in social media gets amplified because people share it. And in many cases, who they're sharing it with are people who have a built-in trust for them. So you're not sharing it in the sense that we used to talk about broadcast. You're sharing it in the sense of what we're calling, friends and family cast. And because they have amplified trust, they are much more likely to continue spreading the word. So everything that you do that can be shared over social media, whether by you or by someone else, has a lot more power than you might realize unless you're already pretty much immersed in it. But that also means that you have an incredibly valuable tool for spreading the stories about pets who have special needs and need a little extra help, are a little bit harder to place. That is the intimacy of social media because it is a very powerful storytelling medium. I'm not talking about, as you keep talking about the 3-legged dog, because we all know you put that dog in conventional media, you tell somebody about it, that's a great, as you say, an easy sell. But for animals who are shy, who need to be developed, who need to be brought along, the storytelling capability of social media is huge. So what we want to do is talk a little bit about making sure that as you are getting involved in social media and as you're using it, that you use your powers for good and not for evil. And that's why I want you to avoid these big mistakes. The biggest mistake that you can possibly make in social media is not being there. You can truly miss the greatest opportunity of today for helping to find homes for all the pets in your shelters, for raising money, for recruiting volunteers. Someone said, how can I get foster homes? Social media is a fantastic way to get foster homes because your current foster families have friends and they have family and they have social networks and they can ask those people, hey, I'm doing this great thing. You all know how much I love it. Do you want to do it too? Let's get going. So it's really critical that you not make the mistake of not being there. A lot of people aren't there because they don't know how to do it. And I want to make sure that everybody here gets the opportunity to understand how you get onto Facebook, how you get onto YouTube, and how you get onto Twitter. And so I created a resource sheet which Lynn has passed around, and it has links to all that information. A lot of it's on the Maddie's Fund website, and you also have my contact information. If you're not sure about any of those places that I'm sending you, if you need a little extra help, feel free to reach out to me. The reason that you need to be on Facebook is because if Facebook were a nation, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world. More than half the people in America have a Facebook account, okay? I'm just curious how many of you can reach out to a social network that's the 3rd largest country in the world with your marketing messages. You can do that on Facebook, and you can do it for free because Facebook pages cost nothing. So I really encourage you to, if you are not already using Facebook, as an organization, as a rescue group, as a shelter, to make sure that you are doing it. It is, right now today, it is the most powerful social media venue out there. That could change. I don't anticipate it changing in the next couple of years. It's sort of become like Google. Facebook has put its tentacles into everything, everywhere. You can log into your local newspaper to comment with your Facebook account. You can buy things now with your Facebook account. It's gotten pretty powerful. So I really, if you do nothing else in social media, create a Facebook page for your organization. And I'll explain just a tiny bit more about that in a minute, but I'll also touch here on Twitter. Twitter is, in my mind, a fantastic tool. I personally love it. I've seen a lot of shelters and rescue groups make fantastic use of it. Bonnie talked a little bit about some of her networking with her local newspapers through Twitter to drive up hits to them. But if you're going to skip one, because we all have limited resources, Twitter's the one I'd say you can skip with the least ill effect. YouTube, I love YouTube for shelters because, you know, the internet was built on cute kitty videos, and that is where you are going to find these fantastic creative adoption efforts. Bonnie already told you about their great adoption celebration video. I don't know how many of you during the recent Super Bowl saw what the Wisconsin Humane Society did with its Packer Pups promotions. Absolutely incredible. Go to the Wisconsin Humane Society's YouTube channel and watch these things. They were utterly adorable. They were all featuring shelter dogs dressed up in Green Bay Packers t-shirts. In addition to adopting all the animals, they got national media exposure from that. They were in the New York Times, and they also sold out of Green Bay Packers dog t-shirts in their gift store. So definitely don't overlook YouTube. If you have somebody on your staff, one of your volunteers who's into video, you can make pretty good videos with your iPhone now. I've done it. You know, definitely, but that is sort of my triage. Is you have got to be on Facebook. Twitter and YouTube are fantastic ideas, but don't miss the opportunity of being on Facebook.